it's been quite a while since we had a video out. We've been kind of setting up the shop here, getting everything going. Still not, 100%, but we got a hell of a lot done. So today I'm going to be working on the wagon again. I'm going to be trying to install this GFB Gforce 3 electronic boost controller. So let me show you what I got here. I already started unboxing a little bit of it. But let me see. All right, so this is the latest and greatest from Go Fast Bits. This is their Gforce 3 that they just released. Okay, so I already sort of unboxed a bunch of this, but they give you a bunch of vacuum line. Probably not going to use most of this. I mean, I might run, at least for the part that runs into the car, I might use some of that. But this is the actual unit here itself. So it came with a little tip. I just put that in there. This is for the vacuum source because it has its own vacuum source for the actual unit itself. And then it also has a 3-port boost controller solenoid. This right here. So since I'm using an external wastegate setup, this is all in the instructions. If you guys want to go, if you guys are going to get this yourself, they have very detailed instructions and it's really easy. But for an external wastegate, you want your ports to be on 1 and 2, so it goes straight through the side. If you have an internal gate, it's going to use 3 instead of 2, I believe. But yeah, set that aside. I just put some thread tape on that so it doesn't leak. This part is going to be interesting because I've got to figure out how I'm going to actually install this in the car, where I'm going to put it. I'm thinking about deleting one of my air vents and kind of sticking it in the dash. That might be an option. But a big reason why I went with the Gforce 3 over the Gforce 2 is this one actually has wideband integration into it. So I have my AEM wideband gauge, and I can actually take the yellow wire in this harness right here and just connect it straight to the orange wire in my AEM gauge for the output, like data logging signal. And so I connect these together, and I can actually set up safety measures in here. So if I get to like 10 pounds and I'm only in like the 13 air fuels or something like that, so if the car is going lean for some reason, I can set up boost cut. So for a very simple car like mine, I don't have any sort of safety measures at all. So that's why I sort of went with this one, because I can actually have some safety precautions in here. And it's not too expensive for everything you get. I mean, you get everything you can possibly need to hook this up. So yeah, I just got to basically run this through the dash, find a place to put this in the car, hook up my vacuum line, and then the sensor here. So it's just a vacuum line and then the sensor, and then I got to mount this somewhere in the engine bay. And like it says here in the instructions, they have really good illustrations in here. So like if you have an internal gate, you just use 2 and 3. That's what it was. And you run it in between here. But since I have an external gate, I'm using port 1 and 2, and I'm actually going to tee that in between here, and it's going to run a line to the top of the gate as well. So it's pretty easy to follow. But yeah, so let's get to it. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking I want to put it up here in the dash and kind of maybe take a Dremel and cut this vent out and then kind of wedge it in there. That'd be kind of cool because it'd be right there by my voltmeter. Thinking it could fit right here next to my oil pressure, but I'm really not sure. I think for now I'm just going to kind of wire it all up, get everything connected so it's all working, and I can kind of figure out placement after, because I'm gonna have to take this whole bezel out, this whole trim piece, cut all this out, and then try to fit it in there. But I'm also not sure if it matters with heat, because if I'm using my heat, obviously it's gonna be blowing on the back of the boost controller, so I don't really want to do that. But for now, I'm just gonna get the wiring started. So this is the complete wiring harness, so I need to run this through the firewall. This is really everything else in here, and it will stay in the car. That's like power, ground, switch power, I think. It's all in the instructions. But I'm going to start out by running this into the engine bay. Okay, so the best place to run it through on these cars is right there, where the clutch cable would go through. There's just a rubber grommet there, so just, you know, I already have all my other stuff running through there, so I just pulled it through. It comes out under the brake booster, so just pull it through. I want to run it across over to this side. I'm probably going to mount it, the solenoid, over here where my normal boost controller is, my old piece of crap manual boost controller. So luckily they gave you plenty of slack, so I can run the wiring all the way over here, out of the way of heat and everything. Okay, so the next thing is vacuum source, because the boost controller itself takes a vacuum source. So I just ran this hose through the same hole in the firewall as everything else, and I'm just going to tee it in here. It came with all the tees you need. Right here, this is my actual map sensor, so I just kind of plugged it in there. We'll just kind of tuck it down, and it should be good. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of set this here so I can get everything connected and working, and then I can worry about installing it into the dash later. But so everything's plugged in. I just need to get these wires connected, and then actually hook up the boost control solenoid. Okay, so as far as wiring, we just ran the 3 wires that we care about right here. So this yellow one is the output signal for the wideband, and then it's just power and ground. So we just kind of tucked those under the dash in there, and this right here is my wideband output signal. So the white one is a 5-volt reference output, and the blue one's a serial output, which I think that's more for like an ECU style connection or something. So we're going to need the white one, so we're going to connect the white one to the yellow one, and then we just need to give power and ground to these 2 wires here, which I might just piggyback this into my current power setup for the wideband gauge already, because that's already on a 20 amp fuse. Okay, so it looks like a mess, but I got my power and my ground hooked up to, I just teed in my ground over here to all my other gauges, so they're all going to the same chassis ground, which is up there on the steering column. This I tied into a TAPA circuit, so that's on switched power for the, I think it was like the ABS one, the one down here at the bottom, this 10 amp. It only requires a 5 amp fuse, but I put it on a 10 just because to be safe, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty much it. So now we just got to hook up the actual boost control solenoid to the vacuum lines on the wastegate. We should be ready to program it.
The perfect length.
Okay, so we just need to zip tie that up.
I can't get that one on anymore. You can see if you want to get those on.
Okay, let me see if I can show you what's going on down here. So we got the one there on the left that goes to the top of the gate, goes over to the top one on here.
It's port number 2.
Which is port number 2, yep, on the actual solenoid.
Sorry,
there.
Is it 2 or 3?
No, it's 2.
It's 2.
Yeah, 3 is the top one, which we're not using because it's not an internal gate. And number 1 goes right down here to the T, right there. That tees into the boost pressure source on the turbo. So that would be right there. That guy right there.
And the other end of the T goes to the bottom of the wastegate. So
yeah.
So your boost pressure is hooked up to your wastegate like normal, except there's a T, and then that T basically goes to this guy.
Yeah. It comes with diagrams and stuff too. It's actually a really simple setup. I showed it earlier, but I'll show you again. So you can see we're not using the most people would use an internal wastegate setup like that, which is way simpler. But since I have an external gate, we kind of have to follow this diagram. So you can see that's exactly how we have it set up there. Okay, so it says step 1, turn the ignition on. Make sure it says 000 on it, or 0.0. Okay, 0.0. What's next? OUR.
Might be that one. Yeah, that's overboost. It's weird that it's OUE, not OUR.
14.7.
So yeah, set that to 20.
I mean, I kind of.
Okay.
Well, I'm probably gonna set it a little bit lower. Do like 19 and a half. If it gets to 19 and a half. Okay, and then what's next?
And then go to duty cycle, DUT. Set it to 10% to start with. So
Duty?
yeah.
It's on 11, so it's 2. Okay.
Yeah. Leave it on 10.
And gain?
That's going to be basically like low boost, and then we'll turn it up slowly.
Gain, just start at 10?
No, hold on. Definitely read it before you start messing with gain.
Well, 0 should be no gain at all.
So it's saying, it says to do pulls and get the peak boost dialed in before messing with gain. So you should undo whatever you just did.
I did.
Okay. So now go drive and see what boost it's at, and then dialing up the duty cycle to get more boost.
Okay, so the other thing that's really cool is that this has that wideband integration built into it. So in order to see that, you just need to go all the way to input 2. So input 1, input 2, and then you can choose airfield 1 or airfield 2, which I think airfield 1 is stoic, and then the other one is the other measurement. I forget, but we just turn it to 1. Then we hold the settings, and then it'll actually put us to our airfield ratio. So that's pretty cool, if you ask me. So in here you can actually set lean cut as well. I haven't quite fiddled with that part yet, but that was like the big selling point on this thing with me, because it's pretty sweet that it has integrated air fuel as well. So, and you just kind of hold settings to go back and forth between boost and air fuel.
Alright, so from reading the instructions, basically the plan is we have the duty cycle set on 10% to start with, and then that's going to be like low boost, and it's going to give us a peak boost reading, and then we're going to turn up the duty cycle percentage until we get to like around 18 pounds is probably desired, and then basically from what I was reading, every time you change the duty cycle, it erases the previous peak boost like data for it. So we'll have to make sure to do like multiple runs once we're satisfied with it. I'm gonna record, but you can go. You're supposed to be in third or fourth. Okay. Third or fourth, not second.
Yeah, it said like 0 duty cycles.
Highest I saw was like 10.9. So we'll pull over and up the duty cycle in a sec. Okay, so now we're on 20. It's only like 12 pounds.
Okay.
I'll try like 35. It's so weird. I can change your boost from the passenger seat. It's pretty cool. Only 12 pounds. It's like 12 and a half.
It's like barely over wastegate.
Yeah. Let's go up a lot.
Don't go up a lot.
Well, it's supposed to get more sensitive the more we go up, so let's try 45. Just to see. Okay, it's on 45. You're gonna stop soon. enough. Try 55.
55?
Just go in 10 increments.
I saw 15.
Yeah, when you were in fourth, you went over 15. So.
It sounds nuts, dude.
Is it fluttering?
Yeah, you don't hear it?
No, I'm not even paying attention.
I definitely notice it.
Where did it go? Damn it.
So you want to set your desired boost first before you set gain?
Yeah. So we can dial in how fast it spools later. But right now we're just getting actual boost pressure.
I just want to get it exactly to 18.
Well, I put it on 65. I saw 17.1.
I think you just shot a fireball. I saw a flash behind me. Kapow!
I saw 17.1, I think. Probably do another pull just to be sure, because we're getting close. But wait till after the stop sign. It's on 65. I saw 19.
So,
You want to
19
go?
and fourth?
Yeah. You want to go down a little?
What was it? What's the gain? Or what's the duty cycle at?
65. Could try.
Try like 63.
Okay.
Okay, after this curve up here, try again.
Yeah, it was like high 17s, low 18s.
Put on 64. Maybe up the gain a little bit.
We'll mess with that when we read the instructions.
Just go to gain and add 10%. You do the same thing with the gain. I know that. I know you gotta do the same
Okay.
thing.
It's on 64 if you want to try that. Yeah, that's pretty solid at 18.
It's so like it's smooth now. It doesn't drop. It sounds ridiculous.
You gotta do a second gear pull because I want to see if it holds boost all the way through. Slow way down. Because I know mine with my manual boost controller, I only get like 15 pounds by the time I'm at red line in second. Yeah, you're only getting like 15-ish pounds. I think it's just consuming watching the boost gauge and it definitely didn't spike.
It didn't spike, no. I'll do 40 on the gain. Up on the duty cycle as well. Do a fourth gear. It's at 65, yeah. Just do like a fourth gear roll on to see what the max. Did you let out or was that the?
No, I let
out. Okay. Yeah, because I saw 19.
I let out. I was just coming over the curve. And
yeah.
Cop there, and like I'll just brake.
Yeah. Alright guys, well I think that's going to do it for the install of the GFB Gforce 3 boost controller. We got it pretty much dialed in how we like it, so if you guys have any questions, post in the comments. But thank you guys for watching.